What's going on, everyone? So this offseason, there's probably going to be several stars available. A lot of change of scenery. Kevin Durant is somebody that's already linked. You got to imagine that Trae Young is probably going to be brought up again. Could Giannis. Got multiple guys that every couple months, really, right? Like every 6 months, there's like a new star that's available, whether it's the offseason or right before the trade deadline. Obviously, the Lakers go and land Luka. The Spurs, they go and land De'Aaron Fox. Well, according to Howard Beck, it looks like Ja Morant could be somebody that you need to keep an eye on that could be on the move this offseason. So, according to, again, Howard Beck, NBA executives believe that Grizzlies could potentially look to move Ja this summer. I'm constantly checking in with executives around trade deadline about okay, what we saw, what we didn't see, what's next. And in the league, you are always on the lookout for who's the next wave of stars that are going to get dealt, right? Somebody out of the blue said, keep an eye on Ja Morant this summer. I'm just saying it's one of those things I'm just kind of keeping an eye on if I were to flame out early, if they were to flame out early. So, according to this report, right, some executives believe that Ja Morant, if Memphis ends up losing in the first or second round again, that he could be like, hey, time for me to get out of here, right? Question is, where would he go? Where does he end up, right? I don't think Memphis is far from a championship, right? I worry about their play style, particularly come playoffs, right? But Zach Edey's only going to improve and get better, and he's a big physical presence, right? I do think at times, there's a lot of stretches where it's I feel like they should run through him more than they do. He's kind of just an aftermath at times. Obviously, Triple J, because the beauty about Memphis is that they can match up with different pieces. I would look to kind of get, can they get a Kevin Durant in the offseason? I think Memphis might be a real contender at that point, right? Give you that guy that doesn't need the ball a ton, can be ultra efficient, can just take the pressure, because now it's just now you got to pick your poison. I would look to trade Desmond Bane before I trade Ja Morant. Can you turn Bane into just more complementary pieces, right? Can you get that clear upgrade at the 3? That's why I thought, if Jimmy Butler, I thought Memphis was perfect for Jimmy Butler, right? He slots in seamlessly. He is a guy that can really elevate that team. His ability to kind of just be that Swiss Army knife out there on the basketball court, I thought made a ton of sense for them. He brings and adds to their toughness and physicality. Again, Memphis, I think, is an upgrade at the wing, and maybe one more complementary piece away from really truly being a contender. The thing though, at the end of the day, a lot of it falls on Ja, right? And just the type of pressure that he can impose on opposing teams, right? Memphis, the issue with Ja is again, where are you going, right? Where are you heading to, right? Pre De'Aaron Fox trade, San Antonio made some sense. Him and Wemby could have made some noise together, but beyond that, it's where are you heading? Right? You're gonna go to Brooklyn and try to get another star or two, but you're still probably going to take a year or two. I still think at the end of the day, Memphis is probably the best spot for him currently, because I don't think that they are that far away. I think that they can be a contender in a year or two, right? Maybe even as soon as next season. Every year they're at the top of the standings. A lot of that is just, again, their style of play really benefits the regular season. But you see, once you get to the playoffs, things tighten up, right? The whistle dries up a little bit, right? Becomes more of a half-court game. The transition and stuff isn't as high intense, right? There's just, teams are more focused on protecting the rim and then closing out hard on three-point shooters, right? And Memphis is a team that I feel is built for the regular season. Come playoffs, you find the right matchups. Sure, I think that they can make some noise. If they played a Houston, I could see them beating a Houston, right? If they played even OKC, I think that they could give some matchup problems, because they do have decent size, particularly on the interior, right? Triple J versus Chet, I think could be interesting. Edey against Hartenstein, right? You kind of have Morant and SGA. SGA, I believe, is the better player, but Ja can get to that level to where he can kind of at least offset some of what SGA can do, and then it just kind of becomes a depth thing, which OKC, I like their depth better. I like their defense, particularly out on the perimeter. But I do think that Memphis is a team that could, I'll give them some fits. I'd still probably take OKC, but I wouldn't be surprised if Memphis were to make it out of that matchup, right? But Denver, I don't think that they'd be like the Lakers still. I think if they ran into the Lakers, I think they'd struggle against the Lakers, right? Because I just think the Lakers' overall size can be a bit imposing. And they've done a really good job of like defending Ja, and Jared Vanderbilt has given Ja some fits, right? And by come playoff time, Jared Vanderbilt's probably good, right? Like you kind of go down the list. Clippers, I think, probably would give Memphis some fits, give Memphis some issues if they're healthy. That's the question, right? If Kawhi can stay healthy, if he is, I think that they could give him some fits. There's like half the playoff teams I think Memphis can beat. Half the teams I think they'd have a tough time beating. But that's like matchups are so important, period, in the playoffs, right? Like everybody has their favorable matchups. Everyone has their favorable, the opponents that they probably lose to, right? Like, so again, it's finding the right matchups. A lot of it is luck, right? Winning a championship, bit of luck, bit of talent, right? Bit of matchups, bit of health, right? Like all of these things kind of accumulate in leading you to a championship. But I don't think, like, again, where does Ja go that all of a sudden it's like, that was it. That was the place, right? Like, maybe Houston, right? Like, I think Houston's probably the best place for him, right? I think Houston makes some sense. But beyond that, it's like, again, I just think I don't think Memphis is that far to where you could justify going to, like I said, like a Nets team and spend 2-3 years rebuilding. Right? Like, okay, now they're going to build a team around me. It's like, you could just have Memphis do that. And you have tradable pieces. You have tradable players. You have tradable assets, right? You have a good core and foundation. You just need to kind of, if you can just upgrade in key areas, right? Like, I don't like their move for Marcus Smart, right? That you traded a first to land Marcus Smart. Now you gave up a first to get Marcus Smart. You're better off, I think, just waiting till the offseason. I think you could have, that deal probably would still be on the table, right? Maybe a team would even take him, right? Just to absorb him outright, especially with teams being able to kind of fluctuate their money a little more and stuff, and be a little more creative. I don't know. I understand why they did it. I just think I just don't think that was something where it's like, that's the, like, again, what changed right now? What's going to change? Nothing, right? Like you could have done a lot of the same stuff that they did in the offseason and kind of just kept it going, but we'll see. I wouldn't be shocked if Ja ends up leaving or looking to make a trade. Like I said, every few months, right? Every like 6 months, there's like a handful of stars that are at least in the mix of potentially being traded. And I think this offseason there's going to be several. I think you're going to see a big carousel going around this offseason. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you want to see Ja leave? Where would you like to see him go? Again, I think Houston's probably the best place. I think that's the place that makes the most sense for him. Could he look for a team out east? Sure, maybe, but I think Houston probably a good bet. But again, however you feel, either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out, so we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.